Welcome to the TDC Today Show communities. My name is Sue Roscoff, and we are here with the Disability Channel, or TDC. So, the Disability Channel, TDC, is out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, all about showcasing abilities. TDC is committed to providing quality digital media production service, education, and employment programs by and for persons with disabilities and veterans. TDC offers digital media production, video production, post-production, social media, and podcast creation, production, and support. TDC offers education and employment programming, which includes digital media courses to persons with disabilities who are unemployed and underemployed. TDC also offers community partnerships. Through partnerships and sponsorships, community partners and organizations become ability champions by supporting media created by and for people with disabilities. We are your USA team, and so happy to be here tonight. We have a wonderful friend of the show joining us. We have Mr. Alan Holmes joining us today. So, Alan, how are you doing? So glad to have you here.
Happy good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. It's my favorite line. I'm doing well, too. Thank you for having me.
So I know you do have your own show that you produce on Wednesday mornings. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's actually called The Mastery of Connections with the incredible pod engineer, Miss Emily Gomer and Kurt Roscoff, who supports along with my brother, calls him brother from another, Christian Mendez. He's with EC Marketing for All, and we call it from one weekend. They call me the Master Connector, but from one weekend, one weekday week, if they say on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, I'm the MC Holmes, where it's called the Mastery of Connections, where it's just a plethora of various different resources on the incredible disability channel that helps veterans and disability advocates and mental health, as well as just resources that help the community as a whole.
Excellent. And you are the master connector. I love all the things that you do. And, I do see Kurt joining us here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in and give him a chance to say hello. How are you doing, Kurt?
Doing really well. Thank you very much.
So I got to open it up. I got to touch base with you because, in this busy house, I know you're just downstairs, but you and I have hardly even gotten a chance to connect here today. What's all new in your neck of the woods?
Well, what I want to share out there is I just got off a session of the Open Mind, was hosted by Stan Anderson, and they were featuring a speaker that we've had on Ability MKE now with River West Radio and that radio work and that live streaming. And Sorrel really brought out something quite magnificent. And he just really centered it around two words. Yes, no. And he talked about conditions. At the beginning of the session, in the group, there was some responses about how being a person of your word can have some conditions. And Sorrel made a wonderful point around that, if we're a person of our word, and it's the way to go, that we can say yes or no, and we can look at our intentions and what we want to do and stick to it. And as far as the condition thing, just work with the conditions to match your intentions, which is where you answered yes and no, and to carry it out, to create the conditions, to keep the yes. If you are on it that, yes, this will happen, you make the conditions that it'll happen. I bring that up today because at the Disability Channel, we're showcasing abilities. We tell stories of people like Alan with his show. He makes a commitment, to bring out on Wednesday mornings a show with the guests. And so it's all built around yes, this will happen. And there are things that we do to make sure these shows, like this show right here, goes on. And in our advocacy, and like with veterans, the idea of, can we say yes to veterans? Can we create the conditions that, yes, we will combat veteran suicide? Can we, as people of the planet, come together and everybody's in this shared intention, and to create that with our veterans in their intimate space, in their minds, and in what they say, that they too say yes, that, the suicide ideation and the PTSD, that yes, this will be something that, will be committed to and will be handled, and with everything we've got, that we're going to, work hard to create the conditions that, yes, that'll happen. And I told the story at this event about the world's largest water ski tournament, where I was asked, is it a problem that they weren't providing a boat? And I was sitting there at a point where we were relying on them providing a boat. But I said, no, it's not a problem. So with this event, I was able to put it in the context of the point of this whole thing about being a person of your word. So when I said, no, it's not a problem, I walked away from that conversation to say, we will create a demonstration. I went around to people at that event, and since the event organizers were not providing, I went to check in to see if the competing teams would provide. And you know what? They provided. They created the condition through which it would happen. And not only did we create one demonstration, we created 4. And Sue and I were at an event about 17 years ago that was about the art of allowing. And so I want to bring that into this show. I want to bring that into what we're experiencing with Alan Holmes, MC Holmes, the master connector, because that to me is what this is all about. We are practicing the art of allowing, that everything we do is for everybody, especially here at the Disability Channel. Back to you, Sue.
Excellent. And when you talk about these things, the community aspect that goes with that, it is there. It is present. It is vital, because we need to have that community experience wherever we are, don't we? I mean, being connected to something, to anything, whatever that thing is that you're connected to, that community influences what you do, who you are, how you go forward. That's where, with us being part of the ski community and with being part of all I can probably list off a dozen different communities that we personally have connections to. And I'm kind of curious, like, I know, Alan, with what you all do with connecting so many people and so many businesses and things, and you are the master connector. You take it to an art form of being able to connect different communities to one another. And I know one community that you relate closely with is the veteran community. You have that in your background. You are a veteran. And I know you did make a comment to me as well about something obviously that's very special about today being 9/11. So I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about that and what that all means to you.
Well, no, yeah, thank you, Sue, and thank you, Kurt and Emily, and the Disability Channel. I consider myself just the beacon, or the hub. But for example, this morning I had a great conversation of Jared, Jared Smith, who's a veteran, and like myself, he's with Valor Funding, just to plug him. And we were talking about today is more of a day of remembrance and humbleness. There was another friend of mine who we kept on another a platform that some individuals weren't even born here, but the pain and the hurt and they'll never forget. So to make sure we stay within reverence of humbleness, whether it's the veterans and their families and the individuals who lost loved ones, just to stay with honor and respect and reverence. And just remember, and so I did a couple of postings, but it was more of a reflection, if you will. And veterans for me is anyone. It could be the veterans and or their families, individuals who still serve. We're the men and women around this great country, this great nation, continue to watch over all of us, and we watch over them. And there's even with those with the disabilities and abilities, like Mr. Jared, he got out a medical discharge, but he was honorable. And just to make that clear, it was a medical discharge, but he was honor discharge, and he is doing so much to give. And we talked about credit, so it was more of a business, but at the same time reflection of who we are as a community and his essence. And I am just so honored to be here today with you, Sue and Kurt, namely just allowing me part of this ending this day with great friends and respect and honor and just being of service.
Excellent. And I hear the whole concept of community even within what you just stated too. I know being connected and feeling like you're part of something can really make that big difference. I know that we do a lot of work with Project Die Hard, and that is a veteran community that is addressing the whole horrible issue of veteran suicide. And it makes me think too about it actually makes me question the whole thing of how can somebody not be connected somehow to some community? How can we miss that people are feeling alone, are not having that connection and that piece of community within their experience? And I just want to be able to reassure people that community exists. It is all around us, and sometimes it just takes taking in that look of being part of the veteran community, being part of whatever might be near you, even something like Project Die Hard, to be part of that. And for us with the water, sometimes it really is taking that moment of looking out there of what do I connect with? What do I relate to? And being able to put yourself into that and realize that it doesn't take much to become part of a community and to feel that belonging. And I think that really is something that makes a difference for everybody, no matter who we are. That feeling of belonging really stands out and can make that massive difference. So I know we had the pleasure earlier of talking with another veteran, a veteran from Canada, actually, not the States here, but we had an amazing conversation with Fraser Newcomb, and what an amazing gentleman. I look forward to the chance to have him on here on this show with us as well. But I at least want to give him a shout out for all he did with talking with us during our show on River West Radio with Ability MKE now. Fraser's an amazing guy. If you haven't heard of him, if you haven't come across him, look him up. FraserNewcombMusic.com. And his last name is spelled Newcombe. So really interesting individual. So I'm gonna just give you that little tease out there so you can look out for him and see all the things coming from his way. So I know I just want to pass it back and see, Kurt, did you have any other things that I know with what you were talking about earlier? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything that you had brought up.
Well, I mean, what we want to bring forth is, that in the scope of what we do and connecting and, really making this a collaborative effort to, really be able to do stuff with supporters here at the Disability Channel. We're looking forward to some great things coming up in, the next few months. Basically Emily Gulmer here, our podcast engineer, scheduler, virtual assistant. She's on top of 4 events where 2 of them are going to be Zoom events and featuring a platform of Easy Expo, to really, do some innovative things and to really bring out, with Christian Mendez from EC Marketing for All. He's really getting us to take the 4th quarter of the year now, October, November, December, to really think about, how we look out for each other. In the veteran world for military, they kind of have that aspect of, hey, I got your 6, so we're really coming into that type of protectionism and, to be able to have that security, peace of mind, financial planning, have that little emergency fund to look at, key person insurance with, enterprises, businesses, whatever, all of those kind of topics we're going to cover, October 24th and December 5th, on Zoom session. So a 5-hour event, or I think it might even be going 6 hours till 7 Eastern. So we're taking in speaker offers right now to speak at that event. We're doing all these creative things to grow the community. December is going to have additionally 2 telethons. We've got some, people who have connected in through this work that we do, including with Project iHeart, that this stuff is amassing me something wonderful, and it's all going to spill right over to the Invictus Games and the Super Bowl. It's just really grand what we're doing here at the Disability Channel. It's made possible by all of you out there watching, listening, to the channel, to all of our programs, sharing, commenting, reacting. The more we grow this community, the entirety of the TDC community, and one community at a time. So if we're not yet in your community very big, reach out to me. Again, I'm Kurt Roskoff. You can call and text me 262-372-1754 and email me Kurt, K-U-R-T, at spiritofthegame.org. We're here to make it big, better, grander. We're going after millions of people out there, folks, because this business of bringing television produced by and with people with disabilities and veterans and saying yes to that, it takes a lot to get those conditions in place, and we're going to do it because, yes, we are committed here at TDC.
Excellent. Well, and I want to pass this back to Alan too to see what are thoughts you have as we are coming to the end of this beautiful day today. Like you had said, with this being a day of remembrance, and actually looking forward to. When I think about community and when I do think about the significance of September 11th, I think back actually on that day that the world seemed a lot smaller to me at that time. That I don't remember another time in my recent memory of a time where I really felt connected to people around me, to people I don't know, but as a whole here, I think across the United States and beyond, that I felt a sense of community like I haven't felt since then. And I hate to think that it takes such a tragedy for that type of thing to happen, but truly, I think the world felt very much smaller and more connected as everybody faced that horrible experience in their own way, because everybody's experience was different. And I know that was something that when I think back and reflect on it, I truly did feel that the world was smaller for a short time. And I don't know if that was if others felt that as well, but that was a piece for me. Alan, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Yeah, 3 words we will never forget. Every year we do our best to say that, and there's no words that can be expressed for those who lost loved ones that are still watching over them. But that's why we said remembrance, and to echo Kurt, EC Marketing for All, with the Kristen Mendez, I'm working collectively with them on various different projects we've been discussing. And yes, we're going to have this a veteran for, as they say, people know I'm big out to the world, to the children. We got to make sure the little ones who weren't around know what great heroes, from first responders to where one moment we were just, if anything, to take away from this fateful day, that it was about reflection and giving back, and we want to continue to continue with great projects like Project iHeart, Disability Channel, and I will be speaking very soon to Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward and all the great things he's doing. So that's what we're all about, just love, community support, and reference with those inside and outside of the disability community, and being a voice. And as always, wanted to end by saying, a mental health advocate, veteran, proud veteran, and of course, community human search engine, collaborator, connecting and networking your visions and dreams. Let us know how we can be at FamilyShowPro.com, kind of best where you can get a hold of me and let us know. And let's just see what we can do and change the world together and make it a better place.
Excellent. Well, and I know with Kurt, with what you had said before about yes and no, that is something that's easy to say yes to be connecting, to be part of the community, and let's see where we go. Like you had said, we're coming up on the final quarter of the year here. I'm excited to see where we go between now and then, who our wonderful guests are going to be in our upcoming episodes here, and where we can go with this, saying yes to all the good things. So as always, I'm so glad to have you guys joining us. Kurt, you know, as always, love having you here. Special insider here. Alan, you're the best. Love having you on here and so thankful for you to spend some time with us here today. So with all of us here with the